Hello everybody. Hola a todos. Ciao a tutti. Today I'd like to make a video in English from this, my humble and messy abode, to talk about the hit list, my hit list. What is that? Well, that is the list of languages that I am studying and mainly languages that I want to study and learn in the future. So, let me show you the list that I've prepared on MS Word. Let's stand on the shoulders of giants again. That right there is Don Quixote. So let's put the cam here so I can show you the list I put together. Let's see, let me point this toward the screen, adjust it. Wow, that should give you a good picture. Let me minimize this and we'll begin. Alright, first of all, I should tell you that there are two ways to study a language. Number one, to study it to learn to speak it, and number two, to study it to learn things about it, which if you do know how to speak the language already, it will improve your passive knowledge, your ability to understand other varieties, other accents, and so on. Out of interest, because I am a language lover, and that does not exclude my mother language, Spanish, and my other language, which is very close to my heart, which is English. And so I am studying and intend to continue to study different dialects of Spanish, also known as Castellano and Spagnolo, and other dialects of English, or Inglés, or Inglese. I'm very interested in dialects, language variation, different accents, different grammar patterns, different vocabulary as you go across the world. Both Spanish and English are numbers 2 and 3 in numbers of native speakers when it comes to the world ranking, and they are both international languages, and they're spoken all over the world. I'm very interested in learning more about dialects of English, particularly dialects of English from North America, that is Canada and the States. I really like southern accents and things like, and accents like that. I'm really interested also in Black American English, also known as African American Vernacular English. And well, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm also interested in English-based Creole languages, like for example Jamaican Patois, or like they call it Patois on Jamaican Patois, or how they call it Patois or Jamaican, which is very interesting. Okay, what else? Well, moving on to languages that I am learning to learn how to speak and use them. I am studying Italian, or Italiano, which is the same name in Spanish and in Italian. Italiano. And I am learning Italian, and I intend to continue studying and learning Italian until I get it to a reasonably advanced level where I can feel comfortable enough to do away with teachers, at least on a regular basis, and move on to 100% more relaxed, more whimsical self-study. Of course, when I say doing away with consulting teachers or tutors regularly, I don't mean doing away with consultative native speakers. I believe that talking to native speakers is an absolutely essential. Interacting with native speakers is absolutely essential in learning foreign languages and should be a lifetime thing. Interacting with native speakers, whatever chance you get. So I will continue to actively study Italian on a regular basis until I feel like I've reached that goal. And I will continue to interact with the language as much as possible, as much as I can handle. Okay, languages that I am not studying right now, but I intend to study in the future. Definitely, definitely, definitely Russian. Russo. Russo. I love Russian. I don't know anything about Russian, but I love it already. I'm infatuated with Russian. I love the sound of it. I think it's really, really beautiful and melodic and just so pretty. And for me, the sound of a language is a huge factor in the kind of affinity and attraction I'm going to have towards that language. And the sound of Russian is just mesmerizing. And the reading would not be difficult to learn because it is an alphabet. I have studied it. I've studied the alphabet a little, and it's really not difficult if you know the Greek alphabet and the Latin alphabet. It's really easy to learn. So I definitely have Russian on my hit list for the future. Now there are Croatian, Croata, and Slovenian, Sloveno, courses at my university, open to the public and for free. And I am definitely interested in that. I'm definitely interested in. I'm aiming for Croatian, but if for one reason or another I'm not able to enroll in the course, I will definitely go and take Slovenian because I am really curious about Slavic languages, and I really want to get into it as soon as possible. Another language that I definitely want to learn in the future, though Russian is really the main course and the first thing I will jump into as soon as I feel that Italian is under control and I have the time, and the sooner the better, is Catalan. Catalan, Catalano. I am very interested in Catalan. I enjoy the way it sounds. I have family, and I have a family connection to Catalan. My ancestors come from Catalonia on my father's side. My second family name is Catalan, and I have family in Catalonia who are bilingual in Spanish and Catalan, and for that reason I would really like, and it's part of Spain, and I'm really interested in Spain because of my family and because I like the history and the culture, and I would very much like to learn Catalan in the future. Okay, now to the larger hit list, and really the things that are maybes, but I do see myself learning a sixth language in the future or more, even if just a little, because I'm interested. Number one is learning a second Germanic language. I know English very well. I don't study it actively anymore, even though I do study it because I interact with it. I learn new words every once in a while and so on. I would like to study a second Germanic language, either Dutch, Hollandese, because I like the sound of it and I find it interesting, or one out of Swedish, Sueco, Svedese, or Norwegian, Noruego, Norvegese. Because well, I'm just intrigued by these Scandinavian languages. I'm a big fan of English words of Scandinavian origin, like sky and so on. And I would like to learn either Swedish or Norwegian as my second Germanic language if I don't take up Dutch. Moving on to other Romance languages. I am interested in European Portuguese. I really like the sound of European Portuguese, even though I'm not a big fan of the sound of Brazilian Portuguese, believe it or not. So if I study Portuguese in the future, I would like to learn European Portuguese. Português, Portuguese. Um, which, believe it or not, is hard to do here in Argentina because most of the teachers are Brazilian. Another language that I don't particularly like all that much, but this is part of my I'm really interested in Europe, and if I go to France someday, maybe I'll make it a point to learn French, maybe for a year or more, and before I go, to get more out of the experience, and you know, just for that, to really milk the experience, even though I don't really like French, because I just don't like the way it sounds. That, I mean, it's I don't like the stress pattern. It's just not really attractive to me, which to me is a huge thing when I learn a language. Is I have to feel an affinity for it, and I have to feel attracted to it, and a huge aspect of that is the sound of the language. But I don't say, hey, I'll never learn French. I would definitely not say that because you never know. Moving on to Asian languages, I would like to maybe learn Tagalog in the future. I find it interesting. I like the sound of it is interesting. It has some interesting sounds, and it's got lots of Spanish words in it. I think that would be interesting. Kind of it would be kind of an aha moment to study Tagalog and kind of start picking apart, you know, and kind of finding the Spanish words in it. I've been interested in Mandarin for some time. I think Mandarin is sounds really pretty, and I think it's very elegant, and I like the sound of Mandarin. I am though quite intimidated by the writing system. I think learning to read and write Mandarino, would be something that would. I definitely think it's possible to learn. I definitely think it's possible. I'm not one of those people who say, oh, you know, it's going to take you a lifetime, blah, blah, blah. It's impossible to learn Chinese. But it would require a significant investment of time and effort to learn to read and write Mandarin. So I don't know, but I don't say I'll never learn Mandarin because it is a pretty language. And finally, Coreano. Korean, I'm not so interested in Korean, but I do like the writing system. I think it's a pretty cool, and I don't, you know, maybe in the future, definitely maybe in the future. I'm not so, I don't find Japanese so attractive, so hey, who knows, maybe Korean. Okay, I might be running out of time here, you know, given the 15-minute limit. So it's been great talking to you. What is your hit list? Let me know. Maybe make a video response. Okay, it's been great talking to you guys. I'll talk to you guys later on the next video.